Hello, this is Karen Johnson with another in our series of historical tapings. These are historical records of the people who've been involved in Proctors Theater over many years. Today is October 19th, 2015, and we're very pleased to have with us today Zeb Schmidt, who is Mr. Video at Proctors Theater. Now, Zeb, you've been here how long?
I've been at Proctors probably going on 6 years, maybe affiliated maybe 7 years, because before Proctors came in to run public access, there was a little buffer where we were coming back and forth to Proctors. So roughly, officially 6 years I've been in this building, yeah.
Okay, and before that, what did you do? How did you get interested in video?
How I got interested in video, I just started doing video projects and for people with like consumer grade video cameras, and then it just became evident that this was like the thing I wanted to do. Before that, I did a lot of art and charcoals and that kind of thing, and that was kind of what I was good at. And then as soon as I started with the video, I was like, this is it. I have to really do this. I couldn't do anything else. I started at the previous organization which ran public access, which was Schenectady Access Cable. I started there as a production coordinator, and then I don't know, in a couple years, I ended up being station manager somehow. Maybe I just hung in there for so long that I became station manager, so it was great. And then I think Proctors came in, and I started having meetings with Proctors, and perhaps maybe Proctors would want to manage public access, because at the time, I don't think the public access channel was living up to its potential due to X factor that I don't want to get into. Not enough money, just a lot of different things. So, so Proctors came in, and we successfully rebranded the channel Open Stage Media, with a emphasis on kind of being Capital Region wide, but Schenectady centric, obviously. And that was 6 years ago, and we've basically rebuilt the station from scratch. I mean, really, and that took a while for us.
So there are two things: the technology. Was there a technology rebuild?
Yes, there was. We had to re-engineer basically the server and how it interacts with everything. Time Warner, and then Verizon came, which we didn't have Verizon at the time. Before, we were running one station at the old channel. We were running one station. We had public, education, and government all on one channel. So we were cramming everything in on that one channel, and we were just like, well, we definitely have enough content for 3 individual stations. So luckily, Proctors and Philip Morris came in and renegotiated with Time Warner to say, hey, we need, look, in the contract it says we have a public channel, education channel, and a government channel. 3 separate channels. Why do we only have, why are we cramming all this into one? So they gave us the 3 channels. Now we have, all 3 PEG channels, which is great. So we have definitely enough content to go on all 3 channels.
And these videos are content that we're making available for that also.
Yep.
As well as a historic record.
Absolutely, yeah.
One thing stayed the same, though. We are public access here.
Yes.
And what does that mean as far as how the public can interface with the station?
Well, a member of the public that wants to do a show can drop off anytime a show to us, as long as they just fill out a program presenter agreement, and we put it on our public access schedule. And they can recommend times to us, and we try to fill in the times as best we can. There's restrictions, obviously, no profanity, gambling, and those kind of things. As long as it meets that criteria and they drop it off, whether it digitally or a DVD, we put it on the channel. But there's also another element, is we're in this beautiful studio which we set up, which is made for the public that don't have the means, don't have cameras, don't have lights, don't have all the things that go into a production, to come in and for a very small fee record their own show here. in our studio.
Now, what if an organization can find someone who's a decent videographer to tape a meeting, let's say, for example, or the Friends of the Library tape Book Sandwiched In? What do they do then?
They would just bring a DVD of the show to reception on the second floor, fill out a program presenter agreement, which is basically a permission saying, yes, you can air this on the channel. We would take the submission and we put it right on the schedule, right on our program guide.
Now, when you're sleeping at night and the shows are all going on,
Yeah.
how does that work?
Well, it's basically a list of programs that we add programs to a list. So we have this server, which is just a big data of all of the shows in the server. So we get the DVD, it copies it into the server. That way we don't need the DVD anymore because it's already copied into the server. And then there's a user interface, which is web-based, which is just a list. So we have a schedule which I make, and we just basically play out. So if the historical committee, Proctors Historical Committee show is on at 7 a.m. on a Sunday, we would just program it out, and we go right down the list. And,
We like that because we're early risers.
Yeah. And then that's how it happens. Now, it gets a little complicated when you're talking about the government channel because there's a lot of live switches. I mean, we go live at City Hall with not only the City Council meeting, but also the committee meeting now. So every Monday there's basically a live meeting, and that involves it has to talk with Time Warner, and then it has to talk to our server to live switch. So people at home can watch it live without being in the City Council chamber, which is really nice for people. So we have to have a person there directing the show for the government channel for the City Council meeting. So that's kind of nice.
So if I'm a regular citizen and I want to get this information, what is your web address?
It's openstagemedia.org or openstagemedia.com. They all go to the same place. And all the information's there on the homepage, most of it. If they can't find the information there, we can always contact us. It's the Proctor's number, 382-3884, and extension is 311. And that goes to me, and I can answer any question anybody has about all three of our channels, whether it be the government channel, the arts and education channel, or the public access channel that we run. And we're on, I want to mention this, we're on Time Warner Cable on channel 16, 17, and 18. So we have the three channels there. And we're also on Verizon Fios for those lucky enough to have Fios. We're on 36, 37, and 38. So those are our channels.
And then you're on the web.
We're also on the web. So we stream all three channels on our homepage on our website. So basically, if you don't have cable, you can still watch the channel live as it's happening if you have on your phone, tablet, or on your PC at home. But in addition to that, we also archive all of our shows on a video on demand format, similar to like a YouTube. So you can watch, you don't have to like, oh, it's 8 o'clock, I have to tune into my desktop computer to watch a show. You can watch it at any time. So it's all archived into categories. So if they go onto openstagemedia.org and they go look at the Proctors Historical, there's a category, all the shows will pop up and they can click on any of the shows and they can watch it at any point. So
technology rules.
Technology rules, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you how many people watch the cable versus the video on demand, but it's a nice mix. So we just make sure that it's accessible to everybody, whether they have cable or they don't. We just want it accessible to people because there's a lot of really good information out there, whether it be you're fact-checking the Rotterdam town meeting from 2 years ago. You want to, I know he said this. You can go back and it's categorized by date, and you can click on that and watch the meeting from 2 years ago to fact-check a politician. That goes for Niskayuna and the Schenectady City Council and the committee meeting. So it's a great resource for that, for people that are really watching.
Being as I'm on some of those government meetings.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we also play the Schenectady County Legislature meeting. So yeah, we try to play them all. And we play Princeton meeting as well.
Princetown, right?
Princetown, yes, Princetown.
Let's switch over to another subject.
Sure.
You're kind of famous around here for being a drone with a camera operator.
Yeah.
Tell me about how drones have kind of come into your world.
Well, they're not, technically they're not drones. I think
Okay.
a drone would be kind of a military term for like those big aircrafts that do surveillance and that sort of thing. What we have is a small little thing. It's called a quadcopter. It's a quad. It's not really a drone. I guess a drone would be, it wouldn't be like a little helicopter. So we call it a quadcopter because it has 4 spinning blades on the top, and it's
Takes
relatively
you out of the
small.
news too.
Yeah. It's technically it's people like to say drone because of all the weight that comes with drone.
Well, and it kind of looks like it.
And it's kind of sensationalizing it, but it's really just a quadcopter. They've been around for a very long time, but the technology now is they're really easily controllable and they're really affordable too. So and what's nice is that you can attach cameras to them. So when we seen that, we said, oh, there might be an angle of this city that people just haven't seen. I don't know what things look like from the air, and I'd like to see what Schenectady would look like, from the air. So we got one, and we were having fun with it, and we were really pleased with the results. And it came together in a video that we made promoting Schenectady County as a whole for the Visit Schenectady efforts that are going on actually right here at Proctors.
So what exactly was your role in that video? What's the team that was put together to do it?
It was a combination of a couple OSM employees, some of the Visit Schenectady staff and Proctors, and we basically we had a lot of quadcopter footage of different things. So we made a checklist of like, I want to see what the Maybe Farm looks like, or I want to see what different places look like, maybe from a bird's eye view. So we started amassing that footage, and then we supplemented that with going out and actually shooting places like, Pertivo, and some restaurants, and some places in Schenectady that are of interest. So it's a combination of higher shots and lower shots, and we just kind of mixed them as a promo. Because if you watch the I Love New York videos, a lot of that stuff is quadcopter footage. A lot of it is like the rolling hills you see, and all this stuff. So we didn't take our cues from that, but we kind of seen that afterward, like, wow, they're doing the same thing to promote, I Love New York. So we're that's what we did, and we made a little promo video promoting Schenectady County because there's so many cool things to do here, and a lot of people really, unless you hunt them out or don't hear from them for word of mouth, you don't know. So we decided to make like a nice little promo video, promoting.
So I think it's a wonderful video, and I hope we can attach it to the end of this conversation.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Because
yeah.
it's fun. And the other video that I saw a little bit of the other day, and maybe you could drop that even into this section
Sure.
of the video, and that is when we were doing the painting job in the theater. Do you want to talk about why you did it at that time and what you did?
Well, the creative director here, Richard Lovrich, came in and said, look, this is what's going to happen. There's going to be, the theater is going to be all done, restored, without all these lighting trusses that block all that beautiful restored gold there. He said, we're going to have one day at this, and we need to get some beautiful shots of the theater, because who knows how long it's going to be till all those trusses, it never happens. So it's a way to see the theater in its pristine way, how it probably looked back in the beginning of the theater before they had all those lighting trusses up there. So we took off from the stage, and we started getting some shots of the theater, flying the quadcopter in. It was tricky, because you don't want to. You don't want to get too close to, after I spent all this time on making it beautiful. So we were just very careful, and we flew it around the theater because it's big enough. I mean, it's huge, big the theater is, so there's room to fly it around, and we attached a little, 4K camera to it, which we had, and we got some beautiful shots of the theater. And then again, seeing it from an angle that you wouldn't normally see it, I think it's interesting. So.
It was beautiful. And
Thank
I must give you credit. You did the opening video that attaches to these shows, and they are lovely too, so thank you for that.
Is that but that's done with just pictures. I didn't take the pictures, but we just kind of did a montage of some beautiful pictures of the theater.
No flying.
No flying. We could. I mean, maybe that's something we do. We can use it because the footage stands for itself. I mean, we have all this footage for archive purposes. Obviously, I mean, we were in there for quite a while. We were like, okay, so what does it look like when you see the seats from the top, looking straight down? What do you see when you see up here? We tried to get some of the chandelier as close as we can without becoming dangerous. So a lot of the details, we kind of flew around. So there's a lot of footage of it that no one has seen yet. So maybe we'll.
So
use
that would be fun for people to think back of the opening piece, which is made from just photos,
Yeah.
and then to look at what happens when the quadcopter
Yes.
moves around.
I agree. I think maybe that's something we should do.
And that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But no question, it's a beautiful theater, and you're helping to make it more beautiful.
Well, at least document it, so people can see it. It's like, wow, where is that? And it was like, it's right.
Well,
in
we're kind of
Schenectady.
hidden away on our block, so I always know when you bring people into the theater, they're just amazed.
Yes. I recently had that experience with last year with my wife's parents from Japan came over, and they were going through. They seen my office. They walked through the arcade. And they had no idea that this huge theater was there. So we took them in. We went upstairs, and they were just like, "What? I have no idea this was here." It's like, how do you know? How do you know until you go in?
Because the arcade is.
Yeah, it's just a big
Not as
rectangular
fancy.
building. You don't know when you walk in that all this beauty is there.
Right.
It's really spectacular.
Now, you've been doing a lot of videos for both internal Proctors purposes when we have events.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us some of the need we have for that.
Well, we do the annual guild video. I think I've done it for the past couple years, maybe 3 or 4 years, and I always like working on that because it's just fun topics. I think this year you were in it, actually.
My hands.
Your hands were in it, screwing in the light bulb, and then it comes on to kind of signify how the guild came in and screwed in light bulbs to show an inspector years ago. So that was nice. Yeah, we do a lot of video production work when we can.
So if Philip were going to speak or present an award to somebody, would you sometimes make a short video?
Yeah. I mean, it depends. It depends on what the value of it is. I know recently we did a video with Ellis. We teamed with Ellis when Sandra Lee was here talking about breast cancer awareness, and we filmed her because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we said that's something we should do because her people were really nice and said yes, of course, this is a great message. So we did 2 things. We shot Jane Golub talking to Sandra Lee about, because they're both breast cancer survivors. We made it into a little piece, just an information piece about awareness, and then we also shot her on the main stage, her presentation, talking about her experiences, and it's like a beautiful thing. It fulfills the need of information. It's great public access material because it's information people can use, and it's Sandra Lee. I mean, it's the First Lady of New York State, so it's nice. That's a nice thing. So we kind of gauge it that way. If it's important to film and the public would get something out of it, we cover it.
So are you involved with the marketing department? Let's say they're trying to promote a show or do an ad.
Yep. Sometimes we do that as well. If there's like a TV spot that they need done, we're in there helping. You know, if it's, you know, especially if it has an educational slant to it, they can live on our arts and education channel. I mean, we work with the education department on different things. We're actually gearing up to do another full season of this show called Masterminds, which is
Talk about that a little bit.
it's a high school quiz bowl, similar to Jeopardy, except there's teams. So we produce, I think last year we produced 14 episodes of it. So it's school against school. So it'd be like Bethlehem versus Schenectady, Amsterdam versus Colony. And it's a team of 4. Each school has a team of 4. And there's a host who asks questions, and the students buzz in when they know the answer. Very difficult questions, but it's a game show. We build a set. We film all the episodes in a matter of 3 or 4 days. So there's a lot of kids coming and going, busing, and then we edit all the episodes to half an hour, like a game show. It's a game show.
On a day when you are doing a taping, do you do more than one?
Oh yeah, we do 4 or 5 a day.
So there's a lot of logistics involved.
Yes.
But the set is at least up.
The sets, we spent a whole day putting the set up, and then the next 3 or 4 days shooting all the episodes.
So you know the outcome way before everyone else.
Yeah.
But your lips are sealed.
Oh yeah, we don't. Yeah, I mean, the way those are set up. I mean, it's nice when you see an upset, but some schools are just so prepared, and their kids are so good, and you wonder it because they're answering some of these questions. I mean, I watch Jeopardy sometimes, and sometimes I'll get one, and I'm like, no one else knew that. But these kids answering these questions are unbelievable. Some of the questions are very, very difficult, and they're very smart kids. And to watch them is sort of similar to like a sporting event, because they're answering questions that a lot of people just don't know. But it's very good television. So we do that. Schenectady County Community College sponsors that event for us to do that, and we show that on our Arts and Education channel for this programming.
Education has become a very big thing for Proctors, and because arts education and some levels of technical education, and a lot of it has revolved around video.
Mm-hmm.
So are you involved with the video learning that the young people do?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes we will do, when the kids are, like, especially in the summertime, the kids will come in and we'll do like a day of just teaching them the studio, and they love it. And we try to get involved with that. If a member of the community wants to learn, how to use the studio, we always set time aside and says, of course, because, we want people to know how to use, because this room, basically belongs to the public to use. So anytime someone inquires about it, we want to show them how to use camera, because this room is set up sort of like a turnkey kind of thing, where you don't need 3 or 4 people to man everything. It's it's kind of set up so 1 or 2 people can actually do a production in here without much effort. I mean, everything is you just turn everything on, you hit record, and it's kind of there.
So the students can get to the point where they could use all this equipment on their own if they wanted to?
Absolutely. We encourage that.
Great.
Yeah.
So now we're, I know when I go to some community events, like a chamber event, I notice that video by Zeb Schmidt.
Oh, yeah. Well, Open Stage Media, I don't really provide any.
No, I know, but you are probably doing them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a team effort too, because we have a lot of interns from local colleges. Right now we have an intern from St. Rose. I think she's from St. Rose, right, Brenna? Yeah, she's from St. Rose. And we get interns from some from Union College even to come in, and so I'm kind of telling them this is what we want, kind of make it similar to that, or I'm doing it, or Brendan's doing it. So it's a team effort, and I'm kind of overseeing it. So, but yeah, we do all sorts of videos.
So OSM is out in the community as well.
Yes.
With, I mean, MVP and collaborations with the chamber.
Yep. Yep. We work with
Obviously, Ellis through the breast cancer
yeah,
thing.
yeah, and then we teamwork with SCC as well, with Masterminds. Trying to think what else. I mean, with the chamber, we do a lot of stuff with. We just did two, in the Daily Gazette. We worked with the Daily Gazette for the mayor debate, and then we worked also with the chamber for a lot of forums. League of Women Voters. We're in the middle of doing 4. We already did 2 League of Women Voters candidate forums. We did the Schenectady County, and then we also did the Niskayuna, and then tonight, it wouldn't
They
be
never
tonight
end.
yeah, so we work with the league, and yeah, in the chamber we team up with do the parade, in November.
The so-called holiday.
Is it December
break.
or is it November?
It's in November.
Okay, it is in November. Right.
Keeps moving back.
Yeah.
It's hopefully warmer.
I hope so. A couple of years ago, it started snowing, and snow was getting into our camera, and it was brutal. But we toughed it out, and it was a good parade. So.
Good.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you do that you'd like to just talk about that we haven't come across?
Well, I guess I can touch on we're a staff of 2 that try to do all of this heavy lifting with the servers, maintaining all the technical aspects of the channels, and doing productions in the studio, and also there's Schenectady Today, which is done in the underground with Ann
Underground
Perillo.
means the lower floor
Yeah,
of
the underground,
Proctors.
yes, the lower floor of Proctors, and they do it every Tuesday, and we try to just, I mean, they produce their show independent, but if they have equipment malfunction, we're right down there, or if they need help, one of their people can't come, we're down there helping them. So we try
Because
to.
that's a complex show.
It's very
It has
complex.
quite a
It's-
lot of talent coming in.
And would say it's a full-time job for Ann Perillo. I mean, she's
Right.
booking the guests. I mean, geez, the amount of work she does for that show is astounding.
So there's no limit of what the public can think up if they're willing to put in the time.
That's the thing. You got to be willing to put in the time.
Right.
Yep. Because the
Good.
the shows don't film themselves. It's a lot of work.
And
that
most
goes
of them, we don't just shoot and put on the air. We do a little editing.
Absolutely. Very little, though. Very little. I mean, like this show. This show is done, Brendan is doing the switching. June is doing the producing. June and Ed produce the show. You host. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in this room right now.
And we've survived over 35 of these, so it's exciting.
Yeah, you guys just crank them right out, and I really hope the public gets a benefit from them.
Well, we want to thank you for your participation, and thank you for appearing with us today, which is October 19th, 2015, and
Yes.
we're really appreciative of all your help. And I guess
Thank you.
very soon you will get to see the tourism video that we're also
Oh
proud
yeah,
of.
we'll attach that, so we'll go to that. Yeah.
Because it's a terrific thing. And so you'll have the creativity of OSM as we open and as we close. Thank you for watching.